Man, stop what you're doing for a second and just imagine this. It's April 15th, 2026. You're cracking open that tax software, and instead of the usual gut punch, you see a refund that's 2, 3, maybe even 5 grand bigger than last year. Not because you won the lottery, not because you faked some sketchy deduction, but because you made a few simple moves before the ball dropped on New Year's Eve 2025. Sounds too good to be true? Yeah, I thought so too, until I dug into this thing called OBBBA. Look, I'm not some tax guru in a suit. I'm just a regular guy who hates overpaying Uncle Sam as much as you do. And I'm telling you right now, this isn't hype. This is real money on the table. But only if you move before December 31st. Let's back up. You've probably heard the chatter. Trump signed something called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act back on July 4th, 2025. Fireworks, flags, the whole deal. But here's what nobody's shouting from the rooftops. This law didn't just extend the old 2017 tax cuts, it dropped a bunch of temporary turbo boosts that kick in this year and vanish after 2028. We're talking above-the-line deductions for tips, overtime, seniors, even car loan interest if you bought American-made. And if you live in a high-tax state, they jacked the SALT cap from 10 grand to 40 grand for now. But here's the brutal truth. The IRS hasn't updated withholding tables yet, so most of us are overpaying right now and won't see the cash until we file in 2026. That's free money sitting in Washington while your rent's due. So who's this for? Not the hedge fund bros, not the crypto whales. This is for the nurse pulling doubles, the server stacking tips on Friday nights, the factory guy grinding overtime, the retiree stretching Social Security, the parent juggling daycare and groceries. If you make between 50 and 300 grand, filed jointly or single, and you're tired of feeling like you're working half the year just to fund someone else's pork project, this is your shot. And yeah, if you're in California, New York, Jersey, Illinois, anywhere property taxes eat you alive, this SALT thing alone could hand you back thousands, but only if you itemized and prepaid smart. All right, let's walk through this like we're grabbing coffee. First move, if you're 65 or older, there's a brand new $6,000 deduction per person. Right off the top, no itemizing needed. So a married couple both over 65, that's 12 grand gone from your taxable income. At a 22% tax rate, that's $2,600 back in your pocket. And get this, it phases out above $75K for singles, $150 for joint. So most middle-class seniors get the full ride. Picture your parents finally taking that cruise they've been talking about. Or heck, you taking it when you hit 65. But you gotta claim it on your 2025 return, filed in 2026. Miss the boat, and it's gone. Next, tips. If you're in hospitality, beauty, delivery, rideshare, any job where cash or app tips flow, OBBBA says you can deduct up to $25,000 of qualified tips above the line. No Schedule C nonsense. That means even if you take the standard deduction, this still shrinks your tax bill. A full-time server clearing $25K in tips, that's $5,500 saved at 22%. And no, you don't escape payroll taxes. FICA still bites, but your income tax crushed. Pro move, start a simple spreadsheet now. Date, source, amount. IRS loves paper trails, and come audit time, you'll sleep like a baby. Now, overtime, this one's wild. If you're non-exempt under FLSA, meaning your boss has to pay you time and a half, OBBBA lets you deduct every dollar of qualified overtime pay up to $160,000. Truck drivers, nurses, factory workers, first responders, this is you. Say you pull $50K in OT this year. At 22%, that's 11 grand off your tax bill. Stack it with the standard deduction, and you're laughing. But here's the catch. It sunsets in 2028. So if your plant's offering holiday shifts, sign up. Log every hour. Because come 2029, this party's over. Let's talk kids. The child tax credit jumps to $2,200 per kid under 17, and it's fully refundable up to $1,400 if you have earned income. Got 3 kids? That's $600 more than last year. Straight cash. And yes, you need a work-eligible Social Security number for the kid. No ITIN loophole. But if you qualify, this is free money. Pair it with a dependent care FSA at work, load up to 5 grand pre-tax for daycare, and you're double dipping. One mom I know dropped her tax bill by $4,200 just doing this combo. She bought her kid a new bike and paid off a credit card. That's real life. High tax state folks, lean in. The SALT deduction cap jumps to $40,000 starting in 2026, but 2025 is still stuck at $10K. So here's the play. If you itemize, prepay your 2026 property taxes in December 2025. Yeah, write the check early. If your 2026 bill is $35K, pay it now, deduct the full $40K on your 2025 return, and boom, 30 grand of extra deduction. At 22%, that's $6,600 saved. At 37%, over 11 grand. But only if your MAGI is under $500K. Above that, it phases down. So crunch your numbers. And if you're in a position to accelerate state estimated payments, same deal. Just don't go broke doing it. Cash flow matters. Business owners, investors, don't tune out. OBBBA brings back 100% bonus depreciation. Buy a truck, equipment, even certain real estate improvements before year end and deduct the full cost in 2025. A contractor drops $50K on a new van, that's 11 grand saved at 22%. Flippers, remodelers, this is your golden ticket, but financing it with high-interest debt? Bad math. Only do this if the cash flow works. Charity. If you're the giving type, bunch your donations. Set up a donor-advised fund, dump 10, 20, 50 grand in cash or stock before December 31st. Take the full deduction in 2025 before new floors and haircuts kick in for high earners in 2026. A doctor I know gave away $30K in appreciated Tesla stock, avoided capital gains, and saved 12 grand in taxes. Win-win. Here's the part nobody wants to hear. 60% of Americans leave over $1,000 on the table every year just because they're doing nothing. Not because they're dumb, because they're busy. Kids, jobs, life. But OBBBA isn't forever. These temp perks, 2025 to 2028. After that, poof. And the IRS, they're not sending you a postcard saying, hey, you qualify for this. You have to take it. So here's your playbook. Open a spreadsheet tonight. Track tips, OT, charity, prepayments. Pull last year's return. Plug your numbers into the Tax Foundation calculator or the White House OBBBA tool. Both free, both online. See where you stand. Then pick 2 or 3 moves that fit your life and execute before the ball drops on New Year's Eve 2025. Look, I'm not promising you'll quit your job and sail the Caribbean, but I am promising this. If you do nothing, you'll get nothing. If you stack even 2 of these, say senior deduction plus OT, or SALT prepay plus child credit, you're looking at 2 grand easy. 5 moves, 5 figures. And it's not cheating. It's not gaming the system. It's using the law exactly as written before the window slams shut. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pause this, grab your phone, text yourself tax moves. December 31st. Set a reminder. Then go to taxfoundation.org or whitehouse.gov/OBBA. Punch in your AGI, dependents, state. Takes 10 minutes. Then call your payroll department. Ask about adjusting withholding so you're not giving the government an interest-free loan. 1 click, 1 call, 1 spreadsheet. That's it. You work too damn hard to leave money on the table. This isn't about politics. It's not about who you voted for. It's about your family, your future, your peace of mind. OBBA is not perfect. It adds trillions to the debt, sure, but it's here now. And in 2026, when you see that fat refund hit your account, you'll thank yourself for making the move today. Don't wait for someday. Someday is December 31st. The clock's ticking. Let's go get yours.